General Hospital recap. Did Nathan almost give himself away? Port Charles has always been a town where secrets breathe quietly beneath the surface, waiting for the smallest crack to escape. On this particular day, the air felt heavier than usual, as if the truth itself was pacing, impatient, ready to be exposed. And at the center of it all stood Nathan, trying far too hard to look like he had nothing to hide. Nathan had mastered the art of composure, calm posture, steady voice, the kind of reassuring presence that made people trust him without question. But even the most disciplined facade can falter, and today the cracks were showing. It started with a moment so small it almost went unnoticed. A question, simple, casual, posed by someone who wasn't even looking for answers. Nathan responded quickly, too quickly, offering details no one had asked for. He smiled afterward as if to smooth it over, but the damage was already done. In Port Charles, over-explaining is the first sign of guilt. Across the room, eyes narrowed. Those closest to Nathan knew his tells, the slight tightening of his jaw, the pause before correcting himself. He brushed it off with practiced ease, but the tension lingered like smoke after a firework, proof that something had exploded, even if no one could yet say what. What made the moment dangerous wasn't what Nathan said, it was what he almost said. A name hovered at the edge of his lips before he caught himself, a connection dangerously close to the truth. For half a second, time seemed to slow, and the room felt impossibly quiet. Anyone paying attention could sense it. Nathan was standing on a fault line, and one wrong step would bring everything crashing down. He quickly redirected the conversation, shifting focus, cracking a light joke. Laughter followed, but it was uneasy, forced, the kind of laughter that tries to convince everyone, including the person laughing, that nothing is wrong. But something was wrong. As the day unfolded, Nathan found himself fielding more questions than usual, innocent ones mostly, clarifications, follow-ups. Each one tightened the invisible noose around him. He answered carefully, choosing words like landmines, but the effort was starting to show. His confidence wavered just enough to raise suspicion. Meanwhile, whispers began circulating. Someone mentioned that Nathan seemed distracted lately. Someone else noted that his timelines didn't quite add up. Individually, the observations meant nothing. Together, they formed a pattern. And Port Charles is a town that thrives on patterns. Nathan felt it, the shift in the room, the subtle change in how people looked at him, not accusing, not yet, but curious, measuring. He'd spent so long protecting the truth that he'd forgotten how exhausting the act could be. Later, alone with his thoughts, the weight of it all came crashing down. He replayed the near slip in his mind, over and over. How close he'd come to revealing something that could change everything, not just for him, but for everyone tangled up in his secret. The truth wasn't just dangerous, it was personal. Exposing it would mean hurting people who didn't deserve to be collateral damage. That was the cruel irony of Port Charles. Secrets were never kept in isolation. They spread, they entangled, they pulled others into the fallout whether they liked it or not. By the end of the day, Nathan knew something had shifted. He caught a lingering look from across the room, heard a question that carried more meaning than it should have, felt the walls closing in. No one accused him outright, but they didn't have to. The doubt was there now, planted firmly, waiting to grow. The real danger wasn't discovery, it was time. The longer Nathan tried to hold everything together, the more pressure built beneath the surface. And pressure in Port Charles always finds a way to explode, whether through a careless word, an emotional confrontation, or someone else connecting the dots faster than expected. As night fell, Nathan stood alone, staring out into the darkness, knowing he had crossed into dangerous territory. He had come too far to turn back, but one more slip, one more almost confession, and the truth would no longer be his to control. So did Nathan almost give himself away? Absolutely. And in a town where secrets never stay buried, almost is often just the beginning.